So, with Hurricane Sandy fastly approaching, I felt like I would take this opportunity to set the record straight, just in case I, for some horrible reason, die. To put you at ease, all you millions of people who will be sobbing if I am killed in this ordeal, I'm going to set the record straight by naming a couple lists of my favorite Broadway-related things. First thing I'm going to do is my top 10 favorite Broadway musicals. This was not a hard list to come up with, but I think I've narrowed it down to an easy top 10. But before I get to the top 10, I do have 5 honorable mentions. Honorable mention goes to The Drowsy Chaperone, Monty Python's Spamalot, Chicago. All fun shows, all just shows that make me laugh and have great scores. Just didn't make the cut. Mystery of Edwin Drood, another great show that I'm more familiar with the score than the actual book, so I can't really count that. And since it came so late into my life, I say I have to put Rent. So those are my top 5 favorite, my top honorable mentions. So now we go to number 10. Number 10 is a show that I encountered very recently. Not as recent as Rent, but pretty recent. It's a little show called Jekyll and Hyde. Now, I'll be honest, I've had this sort of prejudice towards Frank Wildhorn since Wonderland. Before Wonderland, I didn't really pay attention to him, but ever since Wonderland, I've been like, oh my god, this guy is crap. But not Jekyll and Hyde. Jekyll and Hyde is a magnificent score, I must say. Because basically, Jekyll and Hyde has no real book, per se. But, I mean, and the story is basically already written out. But that score is just brilliant. I mean, the chorus numbers, I mean, Facade has got to be one of my favorite opening numbers ever, even though it's not really an opening. But Facade and Murder, Murder. But aside from that, Wildhorn, along with, I believe, Leslie Bricussy wrote it with him, they wrote 2 of the greatest arias, Broadway musical theater arias, in the history of musical theater. One being, of course, This Is the Moment. Anyone can sing This Is the Moment and sound good. Even Hasselhoff. I mean, he really had to work hard to make it sound okay, but still, he didn't sound horrible. And also, another one that's really kind of underrated, Someone Like You is just a fantastic song. Oh, I get chills just thinking about it. So yeah, Jekyll and Hyde is number 10. Number 9 is La Cage aux Folles. La Cage aux Folles is just another one of those fun shows. You're going to hear me say that a lot. It's just a fun show. I mean, it's a beautiful, again, beautiful score. I'm going to be saying that as a lot as well. Beautiful score, and just funny characters, interesting characters. Alban has got to be one of just the most interesting musical theater characters. So yeah, that's what I have to say for La Cage. I don't have too much to say for La Cage. It's just a great show. And it's my favorite Jerry Herman score. I believe this is the only Jerry Herman score I have on there. Yeah, sorry Jerry Herman, but it's okay, I have no Andrew Lloyd Webber. But if I had to pick, just for the record, if I had to pick a favorite Andrew Lloyd Webber show, it would probably be Evita. I love the score of Evita, but that didn't make the cut. Number 8 is a show that I just recently did over the summer. I don't think I ever mentioned it on the videos, but I just did this show over the summer, and I had known of it before. I knew it very well before from the movie. But I just realized how great a show it was, and that show is Little Shop of Horrors. Little Shop of Horrors, again, it's a fun show. It's a great poke at that horrible movie, which I did see. It wasn't a really great movie, but the movie based on the musical from the 80s is brilliant. I need to see that restored ending, the new director's cut, because I've seen the original ending in black and white, and that is brilliant. But to see it in color, and just a great show, great, again, like great arias, like Summer That's Green. I know you don't consider Summer That's Green an aria, but in a way it is. So yeah, no, that was number 8. Number 7 is a show that I will have to do before I die, because there are so many roles in it that I could play, and that show is The Producers. The Producers It's just a funny show. It just makes me pee in my pants, that show. Especially when you get the right people in it. I mean, because, like, Nathan Lane, Matthew Broderick, Gary Beach. They're just... If you just get the right people, it's the best show. It really is. And I will be in that show before I die. I will play Max Bialystock. I will play Leo. I will play Franz Liebkind, Roger Dupree. I will play Ula. I will play Hold Me, Touch Me. I've got to be in that show before I die. So number 6 is a show that's very in the same vein as The Producers. In fact, an actor has won a Tony for both of these shows. I think you know where I'm going with this. Funny thing happened on the way to the forum. Now, this is another show that I just recently did. I played Senex and the understudy to Hysterium in it. That was an interesting experience, but I digress. Again, it's just another show. That's another show. I will be in another production of it before I die. It's just a good show for all those those vaudevillian comics, which is what I kind of consider myself. I should have been in that vaudeville period. But yeah, The Producers is just a funny show. Really good score. You wouldn't expect Mel Brooks to write, like, this fantastic score. I mean, I'm sure he had a little help along the way, but it's still, the lyrics are hysterical. It's a great show. Number 5 is just, I think, yeah, out of these top 5, it's the most feel-good of these shows, and probably the happiest. One of the happiest musicals to date, and that show is Hairspray. Again, it's just like that spirit, the energy that it has, and the score, the book, hilarious book, and yeah, just a fun show, great score. And number 4 is the complete 360 from Hairspray, little show, a feel-good musical called Les Miserables. Les Mis, of course, the story, we all know the story is great. It's just a wonderful story, but we all know why we keep coming back to that show. That score. That is one of the most beautiful scores ever written for the theater. I mean, come on. All those songs, you hear the vamps, you hear the intros to the songs, you know those songs. You hear dun 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 dun. You know what's coming. You hear da 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 da. You hear the dun 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 dun. I know. Shut up, Michael. Okay. Number 3 is Gypsy, just because it's just a fantastic show. She's what a great character study of that woman, Rose Hovick. Just a great character study. And I mean, come on. Any woman who gets the chance to play Mama Rose just has a field day. Even if they're not so great in the role. Number 2 is the first Broadway show I ever saw. And it's wicked. And the 2 reasons I put it so high on the list is, A, it's the first show I ever saw, obviously. It holds a special place in my heart. But B, it's just a great story. It's, again, a great character study. I've always wanted to know what the deal was with the Wicked Witch of the West, because The Wizard of Oz is one of my favorite movies. I've always wanted to know what was her deal, and now we know. Now we know her backstory, and it's a great backstory, and again, that score. And number 1, I'm sure I've mentioned it 1,000 times, Into the Woods. Into the Woods is just, because I loved fairy tales growing up. That was like my bread and butter. And when I found out there was a show about fairy tales and that Bernadette Peters had been in it, I was like, hallelujah. And it's just, the structure is so fantastic, and it's funny, and it's got a beautiful message, again, a beautiful score, wonderful book. It's just the perfect show, in my opinion. Perfect musical. So that's my top 10 list of favorite musicals. Goodbye.